have never seen before from Rastelli. As a one-time only is like a 1-2 punch right here.
Yep.
One-time only means the price goes away, not at the end of the day, but at the end of our show, and our show is over at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This is a 9-ounce Black Angus New York strip steak. This is so impressive. There's no auto delivery, and you're receiving 8 of them. It is grilling season. We are so excited. We are dusting off our grills, our barbecues, our smokers, whatever it may be, and we're getting outside because everything tastes better when you cook it outside. And this is the perfect strip steak to add to your repertoire because it is absolutely gorgeous. Done in that Black Angus, which is just quality and beyond in this classic cut that we just don't see very often. It's M97292, hand trimmed, so you're looking at end-to-end eating, and this one-time only price that goes away at the end of the show with an easy pay that goes away at the end of the show is $109.98. That is a 9-ounce Black Angus New York strip for $13 and change.
It is.
This is unheard of. Your easy pay is $22. Only how many remain, Blaine? I'm so sorry. 200.
Wow.
That's all we have.
Wow.
200. So act quickly. There's no auto delivery. It's M97292. All right, Ray Rastelli III, what's going on?
Well, I'm going to let you just start eating when I jump in and start talking about this.
He really is my friend, isn't he?
So please dig in, and here's the second one for you because you're going to absolutely love it.
He knows
right?
me so well.
These are all Black Angus beef. If you love our ribeye steaks or our filet mignon steaks, you have to try this one, right? This is our Black Angus New York strip steak. So it's incredibly flavorful, right? And I'll let you speak, please.
I don't know if I have words.
Right. It's great.
Dude.
Right. It comes down to this steak being one of the most tender, right? Very similar to like a filet mignon, but with so much more flavor. And these are massive steaks, 9 ounces in size. So I was going to say, if you're somebody that likes a ribeye, but maybe you don't like how much fat a ribeye steak has in it, you will love a New York strip steak because it's very lean from one end to the other. But lean does not mean that it lacks flavor, right? These are very, very flavorful. One of the most flavorful cuts that we offer, and honestly, the cut that every single steakhouse we sell to requires. If they don't have a New York strip steak, a Black Angus New York strip steak on the menu, it's just really not somewhere you should be eating if you want to have the very best.
And just FYI, Rastelli provides the steaks and chops to the only 7-star restaurant in the entire world in Dubai. Just throwing that out there before I take another bite. But before I do, because it stuns me into silence by how delicious it is, the juiciness, that real steak flavor punches through, but it's so, so tender.
It really does. And I want you to see how large these are, right? This is one whole 9-ounce steak. You're going to eat from one end all the way to the other with this cut because the only fat that comes on the New York strip is just this little coat that's on top. And that is going to melt down and be like butter. But when you cut into this steak and you see how juicy, how tender, how flavorful. I mean, I'm just going right through the center of the steak, and this one's cooked just the way I like it, which is actually kind of that perfect medium temperature, right, where it's perfectly pink. Brittany likes it even a little bit more rare than this. But
why are we twinsies, Brittany?
Juicy and how flavorful this steak is going to be. It's so tender. You can literally cut it with a fork. But I want to take you, Julia, over to the raw meat.
Let's
we're actually going to have you be a butcher here because I want to show everybody why we're doing it.
Hold on, let me take your rings off.
So
because I got the
take
gloves.
your rings off. I want to give you the gloves. This is a whole New York strip. Okay, so I'm going to just point out while the camera's on it. This is a whole New York strip that we've already taken off all the heavy fat, all the bones, all the things that you don't want to have to deal with at home. If you were to buy a New York strip at the grocery store, it's going to have about 30% more fat on it than this does. So you might be looking at this saying, well, there's still a little fat. No, that's just the fat that's on the top. But what you see, you don't see any fat running through the steak other than that beautiful marbling. And that marbling is what is going to cook down. So, Julia, this is what it looks like in the butcher shop. I've actually taken and put a little trace of a knife cut on there for you already. I want you to go ahead, just grab it with one hand. Take the knife, follow that trace.
Can I get on this angle?
And jump in, please.
Here we go.
We're going to make you a butcher today.
How am I doing? Am I doing it?
You're doing great.
Oh, yeah.
You are doing exactly what we do here in the butcher shop every single day. So if you want to go ahead and just turn that whole steak around, flip it around for the camera to see. I'll hold the paper.
Woo.
Sorry, we cut through a little paper.
Oh, no, I cut through the paper.
Not
She's
even
still
that one.
learning.
Here,
Where do you want me to go?
use my hand.
Okay.
All right. Look at the marbling that is in this steak. That's what a New York strip steak should look like. It should have a little bit of fat on the tail because all that fat is flavor. That's what's cooking into the steak. But what you see is all throughout the steak, no fat. You're going to eat from one end to the other. You're going to absolutely love this cut.
I cut it. I did it. I also cut the paper.
You did a great job.
I think I did that last time too. I need a little technique training. You know what I need? I need an apron, and then I'm really going to be good at it. Just says Carolee. Or just Jules, maybe.
Right. Next time you're here, we're going to have one.
Okay, I have an update already. What's my update there, Blaine? 150 remain.
Wow.
This is brand new, guys, and there's no auto delivery here. So you've never seen it before, and I don't know when you're gonna see it again because I don't know how long this is gonna last. Let me tell you, no auto delivery, $22 on an easy pay. A lot of you are picking up more than one because I think it's a steak, it's a cut of steak that that just feels so classic.
It is. And what's classic, it's one of the most tender cuts of steak on the steer, right, first and foremost. But this is the steak that everybody wants when they go to the great steakhouse because of just how tender it is, but the flavor that it comes with a New York strip steak is truly second to none. Please, jump right in.
Oh, I got a big bite.
And especially when you have a Black Angus New York strip steak, right? I mean, there's so many things you can do with this. Don't get me wrong. This is hands down just amazing as a center of the plate New York strip steak, right? Because that's what's great about it.
Can I just tell everyone?
Jump in, please.
Don't wait. Just order. Don't even think twice about it. It is M97292. It's a price that goes away at the end of our show, not the end of the day. And at this rate, I don't know if it's going to last till the end of our show. Right. So we can do this on the grill, right? Like, because it'll really hold up.
Definitely want to do this on the grill. But you can do so many things with this. So if you want to really stretch this, this is a 9-ounce steak. You're not going to eat all this in one sitting, I promise you that. But one of Brittany's favorite ways to do it, and one of the things we do it at home, is we just take it from one end to the other, and we cut these beautiful strips, right? And then you lay them out on either a Tostini-style cracker, or even just like on a circular board, right? If you're kind of grilling for your friends and family, put some toothpicks in it, and you have these beautiful New York strip steaks. But I want you to see how long this is going to go. I mean, these are big steaks. It really is. Yeah. So you're going to, if you're cutting nice, thick cuts out of this, you're going to eat like a king. You really are. I mean, but definitely something you're going to share. You're not going to sit down and have this on your own.
I mean, right.
Look at it. I mean, it just keeps going.
I probably could.
And going and going.
Good.
I mean, you could. It really is, right? When it tastes like that and it's that buttery. But this is just one steak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 slices out of one steak. But
Those
this
are
is
cooked perfect.
They really are cooked perfectly.
Look at that.
I mean, if you want to talk about one of the best salads, I'm flinging it around here, sorry, but like a New York strip steak salad, or a wedge salad with a New York strip steak.
Oh, a little blue cheese on that.
Exactly.
Right?
It is.
Oh, it's so
beautiful.
Classic. Oh, maybe some fried onion. Is that what's on there? Fried onions?
Yep.
Oh,
fried onions,
little bacon.
Exactly.
Oh, look how gorgeous that is.
Right?
Don't wait on this. It's a one-time only price. $109.98 gets you 8 of these 9-ounce Black Angus New York strip steaks. No auto delivery on this, and the price goes away at 8 p.m. at the end of this show, Eastern Time. It's M97292. But look at that easy pay, $22.
Right.
A steak it works out to be about $13 and change a steak.
Exactly.
And this is Black Angus. Tell us why that's important.
Well, Black Angus is important, number one, because it consistently delivers one of the most tender and flavorful eating experiences that any steak can do, right? We have synonymously known Black Angus in restaurants. They want it. Every restaurant wants Black Angus because they know their customers are gonna have a great experience each and every time. Restaurants struggle to get customers to their seats. When they do, they wanna give them an amazing steak, so they demand this type of product. But Black Angus also has way more marbling, or that inter-fat that runs throughout the steak, that once you actually cook it, that fat cooks down. That's what makes it look like this. That's what makes it buttery,
flavorful,
tender, flavorful, and all that juice, it just keeps pouring out of the steak.
You know what the steak is begging for? A dry martini and a baked potato.
Exactly.
Right?
That's it. You're right. You're
and
right.
some like New York City jazz in the
Exactly.
background. That's what this is begging for.
You know, and you absolutely can do that. I mean, this is amazing just as a center of the plate steak. Brittany and I will typically share this, and I could already cut it, but
I mean, it is very shareable. It's 9 ounces.
This is definitely a shareable portion, right? Each of us have half the steak, a little potatoes, asparagus, and we're having a beautiful meal at home. Just with one of the very best steaks. I mean, I want you to think about going to a steakhouse and having a 9-ounce New York strip steak, what they're going to charge you for it, right?
Oh.
Not what QVC is, I can tell you that. It's just not going to happen.
It'll be through the roof. It's going to be one of those things that like you brace yourself for. Like, I don't want to know, I don't want to look. And then the check comes and you're like, just take my card. Don't even tell me. I'll deal with it later. It's fine. This is the beauty of buying Rastelli here at QVC. I mean, you bring us these cuts that are so absolutely gorgeous. And like, you're not going to bring us anything that you don't truly believe in.
Not at all. We were going to bring you the very best steaks, and if it's not the best, you're not going to get it. It's just as simple as that. We have a saying here, and it's on the wall in our office. If we wouldn't serve it to our mom, we're not going to serve it to our guests. It's as simple as that. If it's not something I would bring home to my mother or my grandmother, rest in peace, we wouldn't bring it to you. It's just that simple, and that's what we live by here. But this is what these steaks are going to look like when they come to you at home. Each one of them individually vacuum packaged. You can see there is not a lot of fat on this steak. 0 throughout the cut, just a little bit around the edges because we leave just the perfect amount on there to add that buttery flavor. So when this is cooking in your pan or on your grill or on your air fryer, whatever way you want to do it, you're going to have a great experience with this steak. And you're getting 8 of these.
100 remain.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow, already. Thank you.
You are the first ones to see it. Ever. So this is really exciting. So you're tuning in the right place at the right time right here on QVC2. We have a 2-hour block of Rastelli, Egg Harbor, and Friends. But this in particular, this brand new 9-ounce Black Angus New York strip steak, individually vacuum sealed, the price goes away at the end of our show. So take advantage. That easy pay $22, that goes away at the end of the show, not the end of the day. That means there's no time to think. It's going quickly.
Not. It's going
if you
fast.
love steak, you get this right now. You get this seasoning, by the way.
I was just going to say, the steak is so good that we forgot about the seasoning.
I know. I love the seasoning
but you're
so
right.
much.
You're going to get the seasoning at home, just like this. It's a 1-ounce package. It's more than enough for you to put with your steaks. But honestly, when it's a steak that's this great, you really don't need anything. Brittany hears me say all the time, I'm like, I don't like steak sauce. Even though we have it and we sell it and some people want it, I get it. But when it's a steak that's this great and it's going to blow your socks off like this each and every time, you really don't need to cover it up with steak sauce. I think steak sauce is used typically to try to make something taste better when it's not there already. But with this cut, you don't really need anything.
All right, I think I need another bite of this.
You want another bite?
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's jump in.
Yeah, because it's going quickly.
This one's cooked
So I
perfectly,
always have this, the way I do it is when there's something I love that I'm planning on ordering afterwards, I save the card.
Yes.
And I feel like it's up to the fates if it's going to be mine or not afterwards, by if it's sold out or not. I have a feeling this is going to sell out and I'm not going to get the opportunity to get this home. Remember, there's no auto delivery on this. I'm being told that a lot of you are picking up more than one set because you're going to fall in love with this. It's
Very
so smart, right? This is going to be a love affair to remember with this New York strip steak.
That's right.
It's so flavorful. It's so tender. It's so juicy. Now 90 remain. That's for the entire nation. That's for all of us.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's it. All right, this is mine.
Yes, jump in.
Going in.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to show this one off because this one is cooked exactly the way that I like it. And you can see just as I'm pressing on this meat how tender it is, right? How tender, how juicy, how flavorful. I mean, look at this. This was cooked almost 10, 15 minutes ago now, and it's still juicing out of the steak.
Oozing with juice.
Exactly.
Oozing with juice.
Oozing with juice, but not fat. And that's what I love about this steak. All Black Angus, right? It is corn-fed, which means it has a highly rich corn diet. That corn is what gives these steaks the beautiful marbling that we have throughout that cut. So when you cook the steak on your grill or in your oven or in your air fryer, that marbling cooks down and it leaves like those buttery almost, right?
Almost melts in your mouth.
Melts in your mouth flavor.
It's
That's
so
where
tender.
that comes from.
This is an extraordinary opportunity to get this home at this price. Like, it's wild. I feel like someone pulled out the chair for me, the maitre d'. I sat down, they put the napkin in the lap for me.
That's it.
The water's been poured, not tap, of course. And my martini is on its way with a nice little twist. And I see this on the menu, and it's just the experience. This is a true steak experience.
It really is. I mean, this is, talk about the finest steak. This is truly the finest steak. It has the tenderness almost of like a filet mignon, right? For somebody that likes that filet because of
Which I do.
how tender it is, exactly. But at the same respect, it has the flavor of a ribeye steak, right? And I'm cutting through this with the fork. I want you to see this, right? I'm just literally going through it with the fork.
That's how tender and soft and buttery it is.
That's how tender and soft this is, exactly. So you can't do that if it's not an amazing steak.
This is one of my favorite steaks I think you brought.
I think so too.
I think this is like a rung above I mean, everything you bring is top notch. Not a bad one in the bunch, but every once in a while, there's something that comes across, something new. Like this is brand new today that knocks your socks off.